why is an opportunity. That is how we should view it every single time, that this is a massive opportunity to speak it to purpose. Hey everybody, welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I am the founder of Forward Partners, and I am joined as always by my partner in podcasting, Emily Grace Deal. Emily, what are we talking about today?
We have a question today.
Okay, let's hear it.
I recently had some millennials transferred to my team, and they are constantly asking why about everything. I never would have challenged my boss all the time, not sure how to handle them.
Okay, this is interesting. We're running into this a lot, right? Mm-hmm. The generations are colliding. They are mixing together. And I have a lot of leaders who are really struggling with this exact question because it's tough. I came up in a generation, and I'm not sure exactly if you came up in the same generation. So. I think you're the millennial of the group. But I came up in a generation where you did not ask the boss why. Because if you ask the boss why, you got yelled at or smacked.
Yes, I think that's what the weird mix of some like ages are. Yes. I think I am somewhere in the middle because I definitely learned that from my dad. Like
you did not question authority, and I think this is the key thing we need to understand here is they're not usually questioning authority. It feels that way, right? Because they're asking why. It feels like they are questioning, who are you to give me this
right
order?
Or when you say why and it's like you don't know what you're talking about, so I'm going to question why.
Yes, it often feels that way, and maybe there's some ways millennials need to think about how to ask that question, but here's the reality: we need to embrace the why. Because here's the thing, my generation, we actually needed the why. We desperately wanted to know the why. We were just too scared to do it. Mm-hmm. This generation is not too scared.
Right.
And so ultimately we need that why. We talk all the time about how we are wired for a purpose. Most of the time when they ask why, they are not saying, who are you to give this to me? You're an idiot. You don't know what you're doing. What they're saying is, does this thing matter? Mm-hmm. Because if this thing matters, then I matter.
Right. I don't really believe in because I said so.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good answer to things, because if someone asked why, you have an opportunity to explain to them why.
Yes.
And why you're doing things and what the purpose of that thing is.
Yes.
So, when my kids ask questions that seem like, why do we put on our shoes? Well, because I said so. Well, no, we put on our shoes so we can go outside, and if you're able to explain that, then you can get to the next step faster.
Yeah.
Maybe not this time because you're having to explain it, but next time you will.
Yes, it is, because they will continue to be curious. They'll continue to ask that question. And if an employee continues to ask that, they're asking this over and over. Does this thing matter? Help me understand that it matters.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful opportunity to really talk about that.
Right. It's an opportunity to talk about purpose and point them back to purpose.
Yes.
And we talked about the more we can bring up these definitions and these things that we the purpose we agree on, then the more we can keep that our focus.
Yes.
And so the more people ask why, look at it as an opportunity to explain what that purpose is.
Yes. It is a huge opportunity for that and to create clarity. Because sometimes they're asking why because there's something they genuinely don't understand.
Yeah.
It is our opportunity as a leader to step in and say, hey, let me tell you why.
Yeah.
And that is so helpful because then they walk out with more clarity. Now, did it take a little bit of time to have that conversation? Yes. But so many of the problems we run into is I don't have full clarity on something and I'm just going to run anyway. And without that clarity, I end up making mistakes or creating problems or whatever it is. And so why is an opportunity. That is how we should view it every single time, that this is a massive opportunity to speak it to purpose, to speak to clarity like you were talking about.
Well, that's what we talked about psychological safety.
Yes.
Like if someone's comfortable enough to ask why, that's a huge bonus, right? That you have a place that they are comfortable asking questions and questioning what's happening or they want more clarity. Yeah. So you're able to give that to them.
And ultimately, it is an opportunity, but we have to look past it and see it as that and not see it as a challenge. Mm-hmm. We see it from a negative perspective every time, right? And so we have to shift that and say, ooh, opportunity, opportunity, opportunity.
Well, and I don't know if it's always true, but almost whenever that's question asked and you immediately have the thought of, oh my gosh, they're challenging my authority. Yeah. It's probably a you thing. Not a them thing.
Yes, that's where being a healthy leader matters so much, right? Because a healthy leader at those highest levels, we're going to go, hey, there's an opportunity to lead my team to help them thrive. If we are less healthy, again, we're inward focused. How does this affect me? Well, who are they
They're
to
threatening
challenge
me.
me? Yeah, they're threatening me. Come on. And if we get stuck in that, it's going to create problems. So ultimately, this is a huge, huge opportunity. Leaders, let's talk next steps. Do you have someone from a generation that's younger that is questioning why all the time? It is an opportunity. And let's pretend you don't. If you have a bunch of old fogies working with you that never ask why, that it's been beaten out of us over time, you still need to tell why. We need it. We all need it. It is a chance for purpose. It is a chance for clarity. Why should be attached to everything, because ultimately it is purpose. And so let's make sure that we are explaining why, that every decision we make as we roll it out to our team, we don't just roll out the decision, there's a why attached to it every time, whether we're talking millennials or the rest of us, okay? We've got to start viewing that why as a possibility, as an opportunity, not a challenge. It's going to transform things for you and probably transform your relationships with your younger team members. I would encourage you to do that. All right, if people want to send us questions, if they want to send us complaints about their millennial teammates, anything they want to send us, where do they send that to?
To lab@forwardpartners.net.
Lab@forwardpartners.net. If they want to find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, where we're putting out a ton of content around developing healthy leaders, where do they find us?
@ForwardPartner.
@ForwardPartner. Thank you for this conversation. Thank you for asking me why and challenging me on things. John, thank you for your partnership with Porchlight Productions to make this podcast and this YouTube show a reality. And thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in. It means the world to us. We will see you next time right here in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.